As far as property values, we have to do a better job. I turned in 2 complaints today. I'm not going to mention the streets, but they're right off the trail, of 2 properties that are dumps. And they've got vagrants living in them, in motorhomes that don't run. I turned those 2 complaints in today. We have to do a better job on code enforcement to clean up our side streets. That's where property goes. The property value is going to go down. Not from the properties people live in, the properties that are bringing from people not keeping their yards clean, full of weeds and junk. And they say if you don't see it, we can't complain about it. No, if they can't see it from the street, but you'd be surprised how many people have junk in their backyard piled sky high because it's not seen by the street, they're still there. But people next door, they can look over and they can see it. So we have to do a better job on our code enforcement. But that makes it tough because we're down to 1 code enforcement person. We had 3. 1 left, 1 passed away, and right now, without hiring anything, we're doing the best we can, but we need to do a better job on in the code enforcement. The other question was what? Well, one goes hand in hand with the other, because a lot of those homes are drug infested, or those areas I spoke of. We have to keep, there was a spot right behind Chase Bank. There was a big problem with homeless people living there and drugs, because the people who owned the property had these mesquite trees and people were making tents out of them. And so it took 3 tries for me to get code enforcement to get out there, but we couldn't do it. So our judge was able to get everybody that's on what they call street maintenance, or they're fine to pay off their fines to clean it up. So when we did that, the property owner come down and trimmed all the trees on, and they almost look like a park now. We've got to get a lot of these areas around the city where all these trees are, that people are using them for drug havens, because that's where a lot of them are coming from.
Overall, statistically, the drug problem is not that bad in the whole city. There are just a couple areas, and our PD needs to stay on that. And a lot of the problems do come from north of the city and in between the city. If we bring the county islands in, the one down where all the apartments are, that would be a good way right there. That way our PD, which I think does a very good job, would be in there enforcing it. That way they can't escape to these county islands. For property values, in the 1950s, people looked down their nose at Scottsdale. It was kind of the westmost Midwestern town. We're at that precipice right now. Just by improving our reputation, making this a place that people want to live, uniting this whole area. When I'm in the west looking east, I see the whole Apache Junction superstition area. I don't see Meridian to wherever. Let's unify it, make it one strong community. That'll bring property values up. Another thing, at the election this year, there's got to be some turnover on the school board. The school system does a lot to our property values, and we had a meeting with realtors the other day. They say it's hard to sell a house out here knowing that there's only a 4-day week. And I know that's controversial and that's out of our hands, but things like that need to be addressed. We need to save this school system, because when people move into an area and they have kids, the schools is one of the main things that they look at.
The candidates will now have 2 minutes for closing comments.
When I'm done, I'm going to... Yeah, I don't think we're doing enough. If you, like I said, you come to my business, I make sure my business thrives. I will make sure that the city thrives. I'll do everything I can. I'll bring the passion that I bring to everyday life to the city. Some people are content to be in the 1990s. We can keep our rural lifestyle, the 1.25 acre lots, and where I live off of Royal Palm, that doesn't have to change. But we need to quit losing things to Queen Creek, Mesa, and Maricopa. We're not doing everything we can do. Try to get a permit in the city. Yes, the roles are okay, but we're not friendly. We can be way friendlier in a couple of departments. Parks and Rec does an awesome job. We need to have more events. They're the ambassadors of the city. Somebody coming here for the first time, you're in there to pay a fine, get a permit. Let's welcome everybody. Let's have them work together. Right now they don't. Instead of, no, this paperwork's wrong, let's make it with a smile. But if you do this, this, or this, and go over to this department, we'll help you get that permit. Right now we're not seeing that. And other cities do this. A lot of cities have the motto of we're open for business, and we still have an unfriendly business reputation. I would change that. I would go make a play for the rodeo grounds. I didn't even get to that. It's a long shot. If some things happen, we could take ownership of that, which would make us another economic driver. It's a different situation in other cities. We've spent a lot of money on that. We need to be able to take control of that. And that's another thing that I would try to do.
I think we're doing an excellent job at the city. The last 4 or 5 years, our departments have changed a lot. The permit prices have went down to half. We are now in line with the other cities in the East Valley as far as permits. Our people have changed a lot. Our departments are a lot nicer. I disagree with Councilman Serdy. We aren't the old way. We're the new way. Our people have changed. The new people have come on board, and the old people who were there, their attitudes have changed. Where we lack help is, I told you, is the code enforcement. You know, as far as the city, I go to these East Valley mayors luncheon and meetings. They brag on one hand what they're doing, and on the other hand, they're complaining how they're going to pay for it. We don't have that problem. We don't owe anybody. You know, we don't spend the money we don't have. So I think this city is doing very well. And, you know, we had a meeting with the East Valley Association of Realtors the other day, and we all went to a meeting to get endorsed. I found out today they endorsed me. And, you know, they think a lot of Apache Junction. You know, like I say, we're not like we used to be. You don't grow overnight. Thank you for the 30 seconds.
Great applause.
There was one question that came from the audience that I was going to field. It was, who was the knucklehead with the red Mustang with the alarm going off? That was me. Oh, everybody's laughing. You try to run a timer and then nonchalantly reach in and try to shut off the alarm without drawing any attention. There's going to be another debate in 2 weeks. Jim Johnson. Sir, can you stand up, please? Mr. Jim Johnson from VFW Post 9399 will be hosting the next event at Post 9399. That'll be announced in the papers. And we'll have the same moderators for the event and at least 2 candidates. And we look forward to seeing everybody there. That'll be Wednesday, July 20th at 7 p.m. Thank you all for coming.